This is the last bartender. I'm going to be making some El Medio bluffs bitters. These are all the smells and flavors that I remember growing up as a kid in Pacific Palisades, and specifically at the El Medio bluffs. There was lots of fennel around. I remember chewing on the stalks, so I don't know exactly. I've got the little part that I think this might be the seeds. I don't know. I don't really know how fennel works, but I just remember being a kid and chewing on it. And it was like that anise black licorice, you know, early gin drinker without the alcohol. So I got some of that. I also have some store-bought sage and some wild sage and then some rosemary. And those are all the smells that I remember from the canyon. So that's the big one that I'm gonna do. I also had some eucalyptus because that is a fond memory as well, the smell of the eucalyptus. But upon further research, it can give you painful diarrhea and like all kinds of it'll poison you. It's like with the koalas seem to handle it okay. So do a little research before you start doing any of these things. This is my first time trying it, so we're gonna see in about 4 to 6 weeks what we come up with. This is Spiritus Wesoli. It's distilled from grain. It's produced and bottled in Poland, and it's a little too high proof. It's 192 proof. This is the kind of stuff like you want to make your own vodka. You do it. Get something like this. I think the Everclear has like a 120. I think that's a better range to be using. So I'm actually going to cut this with alkaline oxygenated water. You might wonder why I'm using alkaline oxygenated water. I'm using this because I'm in Southern California, and that's some of the weird shit that we do. We drink stuff like this and think it is helping us. It does help me in my mind, so I mean, that's half the battle. So we are going to be using a little bit of oxygenated water. I guess the first thing I'll do is just pour some water in here. And I'll do twice as much of this guy. Woo! That is jet fuel. Oh, wow. Alcohol smells different than when I was a kid. Your palate is different when you're a child. This smell like flashed me to childhood smelling alcohol. That's really intense. Okay. So I have no idea what I'm doing, so we're just going to start. The big one that's going to take all three, which is probably the only one I'm going to video, I'm going to put a little bit of the stalk part, the bottom of it that has like what I think might be considered the seeds. And then this is the bulb that's at the bottom. A little more of that. And then this is what I used to chew up. I just used to straight chew the stems because put this all together, it becomes the stem that has all of this leafy green stuff on it. So throw in a few stems. And there's a weed joke there somewhere, but I'm not going for it, it's too easy. And then some of the camouflage to make a ghillie suit out of this. All right. Maybe a little less of that. Ah, screw it. Okay, and then the rosemary, I tried to just get the leaves. You strip it, it's real easy to get them all off. Gets nice and sappy. And then wild sage. This is our wild sage. Love the way that smells. And then make sure that we get some of our farmer's market sage. This is all white sage, I believe. All native to this stuff is the stuff that literally grew. All of this stuff is the stuff that literally was on the ground when I was running around the bluffs. All the smells that I remember as a child. So I just want to see how long this is taking. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And then we want to mash it a little bit. I probably should have mashed it when I put each thing in. I might try to dig to the bottom and get a little mash going. What the alcohol does is it gets all the oils out of the plant. Oh, I can hear some of the crunching of that fennel at the bottom, so I think we're doing a good job. Oh, there we go. Alright, that's good. I don't want it to stay smashed, so I'm going to shake it without... Alright, let's see if we can fill this bad boy up. Whew. I'd say we knocked that down to about, what, 140, 150 proof. Okay, probably have to do the same exact thing one more time. I'll just do the same thing. We're gonna probably need some more anyway. See it? All right. Yeah, that's about the same. And that is going to be perfect. Okay. I'm going to play with the rest of these. Oh, by the way, you should make sure that your jar is totally clean and dry. You don't want, I guess mold can grow if any of the stuff gets out of there, but you try to get the alcohol all the way up past the top of all of the stuff you got in there. So this is going to be some El Medio Bluffs bitters. And we're going to just leave it like this. Some people put it in the sun, some people put it in a cool place. I'm going to kind of do whatever I feel like. I'm going to probably keep it, I'm going to probably leave it on this table so it'll be out of the sun most of the day, and then in the end of the day, as you can see, it'll get a little sunshine. So we'll come back in 4 to 6 weeks and see how our El Medio Bluffs bitters does. It's the last bartender. Happy drinking.